Hi everybody, I'm doing a group critique today. You all have something in common, and that is lack of detail in your inking. So, um, yeah, without words, this isn't super clear what this is, and when you use a pen tool, the emphasis is everywhere. So every line is as significant as the other. So this area of the fist um, kind of is just pretty distorted and starts to lack realism. But then the fingers separating them out, it just makes me question why those weren't done, but this area in the fist was. So consider instead drawing out the whole fist very carefully and then watching my video in the front page of this assignment, the first one of the first postings, and then adding a custom brush. You'll find that you get a much more detailed look. And then once you add the brush, it really will look like it has a lot of style. So I can't tell what this is. Let's see. I think, okay, so you had words. Again, I've said a few times not to use words, so don't use words in any illustration in this class. All right, so moving forward, the reason for that is because it's a crutch. Like your mind stops thinking about how to come to a solution when you're just putting a word on there because it says everything you need to right away. So instead, get a photograph of a Hershey bar or just a piece of chocolate and draw it. It has a little bit more of a three-dimensional edge to it. I don't understand what this is. If it's melting, then you probably want to add some shine to it. Um, and then finally, if this is a little girl's hair, maybe it kind of looks like Mickey Mouse at this point. So instead, maybe you want to add a little bit more of features. Um, maybe you want to indicate curls. If these are those cute glass rubber band things my daughter has, add a little bit more detail. Look at reference. So for example, let's go to the chocolate bar. Chocolate bar images. All right, so there's a three-dimensional chocolate bar. So if you took this into Illustrator and traced it very carefully, put some music on, go very slowly, you might need to use several layers, it would look more like a chocolate bar. If you wanted one that was half melting, look up reference for that too. That might be a little harder to depict in a spot illustration, especially using Illustrator, but you can do it. You can make these little waves. You can, eventually paint in sort of gradation so it looks like it's melting. Okay, so moving forward, this too lacks some detail, very dependent on words. You got the Ghostbusters no on there. I think you've got a good idea here with the syringe into the baseball. It's really pretty perfect. I don't think you need the numbers because these are numbers, they really pop out and it seems like those are of significance. If I was reading the article and I saw that, I would think that in the article there must be mention of specific numbers. So you don't need the numbers. Instead, concentrate on the detail. So this baseball isn't perfectly straight. That's fine. It's getting injected with something. But the syringe, I know you can do a better job than that. If the sketch is better than the ink drawing. So add the three-dimensionality to the end of the syringe. Make sure it's a good ellipse and that follows throughout the drawing. As far as this is concerned, again, you need to work on the ellipse. It looks better in the sketch. And why is this uneven? How can you indicate that this is some sort of drugged out drink without words? Okay, hold on. So a good way to indicate that this is a drugged out drink without words, you could actually, make it a drink that has pills floating in it. Or maybe, you can take this syringe, copy and paste it, fill it full of syringes. I mean, you can be very direct like that and it'll look clever and it'll get the job done. So this is the same thing, but with a no on it. I want to see some more creativity. I want to see some more effort. I think the viewer is going to get bored with the same image. So I'm a little confused. Like, so you have to do 3 illustrations. I'm saying 2. And honestly, this one really doesn't count because it's sort of the same thing. So what else could you do? Think about other creative solutions that'll show the problems of doping. You know, think about a baseball bat, super giant muscles. I mean, what happens with steroids? All right, and finally the raven. Okay, I like the bird. I think the feet look a little too rudimentary. If that was your style for the whole thing, that might be one thing. But these little clouds and rain and the tombstone, that's not enough for this assignment. You have to put more detail into it. These are cartoon clouds, and you wouldn't get hired as an illustrator if this is what you presented. If all of these were one illustration, that would probably be enough for one of the 3 illustration requirements. So again, look at my video about tracing from reference. Put more detail into your work. If you can't use words and your tombstone depended on it, then maybe you need to find something else. Just use more detail. And again, the clouds aren't good enough. If you really want some sort of storm clouds, then put more effort into the drawing. So if you look at storm clouds, they're much more dramatic and have lightning bolts and they're sort of rounded. Something like that would be amazing. But basically, you know, I can tell by your outline of the bird that you are capable of doing complex drawings. Now I just want to see it. All right, everybody, I'd like to hear what you think of each other's work. Bye-bye.